Office of Mayor for the City of Westover. As he said, I am Kirk Manson with the Shelby County Chamber, and on behalf of Shelby County News Media and Alec Etheridge, we're thrilled that you could be here tonight, and we hope that you find the program informative and a worthwhile use of your time. As he indicated, all of the candidates running for mayor were invited to participate in tonight's forum, and at this time, we're pleased to recognize and welcome Wayne Jones and Barbie Pardue for joining us tonight. So gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause for being here tonight. Your willingness to put yourselves before the voters here in the city of Westover is a true testament to your desire to represent and serve this community at that level. So thank you all for being here. Now let me explain the format that we'll be operating under tonight. Each candidate will be asked the same questions and given 3 minutes to respond. The sequence for answering these questions will rotate alphabetically, and none of the candidates have been provided with the questions prior to this event. The candidates will respond to these questions in this alphabetical sequence, with each candidate alternating responding to a question first. That rotation sequence will continue throughout the end of the question and answer portion of tonight's forum. Originally, we were going to ask a certain number of questions, but given that we now just have 2 candidates, we're going to increase those questions to 2 additional questions than what we had indicated in terms of numbers to the candidates. As you heard, Alec Etheridge with Shelby County News Media will serve as timekeeper and provide each of the candidates with a countdown during their answer and comments by holding up a card indicating the time remaining. Alec, will you just hold those up to make sure the gentlemen can see those? Gentlemen, you good with those? Okay. All right. So here we go with our first question. And we'll begin, and y'all don't have to stand up. You can stay right there. And as a reminder, they will cut your microphone off if you go too long. So we'll start alphabetically with Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, why do you want to be mayor for the city of Westover?
Just to let everyone know that whenever the city of Westover was being, or actually the town of Westover at the beginning was being thought about, I was pushing for Westover to become its own self so that we would become a part of someone else. We deserved our own community. We deserved what we could get from ourselves and not be dependent on someone else. So I have been working for the last 24 years by being city clerk for 14 years, and this is my second term as a member of the council. I've been on the planning commission, and I've had so many meetings for the city that I just feel like that I want to lead the city and want to be a part of the city to continue to grow and better itself. I have put lots of ideas into what has occurred so far, and I have used a lot of time. I worked a full-time job while also being city clerk, so I was devoting a lot of myself to the city at that time, which there was no pay involved, so I put a lot of sweat and toil into that, sometimes being here at the city until 1 o'clock in the morning and then having to get up at 5 o'clock or before to go to work. So whenever it came this time for me to run for mayor, I've had so many people across the state ask me, when are you going to run for mayor? When are you going to run for mayor? And I just thought it would be my time to continue the work that I've been doing and to lead the wonderful people here in the city. And I do have the city has a great staff that's in place right now, and I feel real confident with those people. And I just want to continue to want to be a part of that and to represent the citizens of the city.
Thank you. Mr. Pardue, same question to you. Why do you want to be mayor for the city of Westover?
I've been here, well, that sounds extremely loud. I've lived here November will be 65 years. Seen changes from dirt roads and not much to where we're at today. And I'm at the point to where I have time and I really want to put more time into working with the city. I served on the very first city council that we had. I helped get petitions signed to incorporate the city, and I served the city council, for my term, and in that that term that we had, we did accomplish a lot. We got our sewer put through, we purchased land and where our city hall now sits. We had a very productive, and then I stepped away for a while to run my business. We've had a business here in Westover for 25 years, and I just want to see our city continue to move forward and continue to grow and continue to be what we know that it can be, because we have a great place here, and we've just got to all just band together and get involved and make it even better than what it is.
Okay, thank you. All right, now with the second question, we'll start with you, Mr. Pardue. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the City of Westover's mayor?
I think that the City of Westover's next mayor is really going to need a lot of good communication skills as far as dealing with people, dealing with contractors, dealing with developers, dealing with people that are looking to bring growth into our city. I feel like that's where we need to be, and dealing with contractors and dealing with people for 25 plus years, I have a lot of strength in that part, and communication, I think, is going to be one of the bigger things that we can enlarge our communication in order to enlarge our involvement for our city.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones, same question to you. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the City of Westover's mayor?
First, I said that the mayor has to be a representative of the city, has to be a representative of the people of the city. He has to show what Westover is across the state, and should he go to national meetings, he has to take Westover and present it to the national people. We are more than just a spot here in Shelby County. We have ideas, we have growth potential. We just need to have ourselves presented, and we need to contact some of these people. The mayor also is responsible for running the meetings, making public speeches. He has a lot to do with the budget of the city and making sure that the finances of the city are financially strong. The mayor does a lot of work with budgeting, purchasing, and he has to make sure that state laws are followed with the council and with the finances of the city. He has to work with the auditors. And the mayor has to know in the city of Westover that it's not the same mayorship as it is in some other towns or cities where the mayor is not fully involved. The mayor of Westover is very involved with this city. More than any of you may realize, the mayor does not work just a 4-hour day. The mayor doesn't work just an 8-hour day. He's 24 hours working. And he's always got the city of Westover behind him. And he's pushing to get things here that the people need in the city of Westover. We're looking to try to do another fire department. We have to have the money to do it. We know that we need one on the south side of the railroad. That's one of the goals. So that will be part of my goal, and I just want to see things here done correctly along state law and with the auditors, so that whenever someone says Westover, they go, I know of them, and I know where they are, and I know they're good people.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to both put your sales hat on, because as mayor, you're in essence the CEO of the city, and from time to time, CEOs have to sell their product, their communities. So, Mr. Jones, we'll start with you on this third question. How would you describe Westover when asked by someone wanting to move their family here?
I would tell people that Westover is a very close-knit community, that right now we are a growing community. We're not as large as some of the others in the area, but we're larger than some, and we have lots of ideas. We're working to get some businesses here in the city, but they keep telling us that until you get more houses, we will not come. So we're having to push that. And I would just like to say, come out, talk to the people of the city, talk with the community, see what they have to tell you. They will tell you that they live here because they want to live here. They don't live here because they have to live here. The city right now has dreams, and we're working on those. But until the finances are better economically and nationally, we have some people that want to come here, but so far their economics and the federal finances just won't let them come here. So that's one of the things that we're pushing, and I will be pushing to get a grocery store and some other business here, offices here, so that people can live in this area, work in this area, not have to drive to a neighboring town, therefore not putting as much traffic on the road.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Pardue, same question to you. How would you describe Westover when asked by someone wanting to move their family here?
Westover to me is just home, and I guess the best way I can describe it is it's home, and everybody is welcome, and you run into people at the store, and it's people that you know or the people that you don't know. Everyone has kind of a home base, a homey kind of feel about people here in the city. There's great churches, houses of worship that people can plug into and take advantage of. And as far as working with businesses, and business growth, I've been in talks with Chris Edwards, the gentleman that owns the new Ace Hardware that they're building in Vestover. They're looking for a place to do a second one, and Ace Hardware makes them jump through a whole bunch of loops to make sure they're not too close to another one before they will give you the nod. So we're still in that working process there, but I feel real strongly about it, and I feel strongly about the subdivisions we have and the way that they're growing, and as people come into the city, that if we can keep them and get them involved, everything would be just a lot better in my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Pardue. All right, and we'll begin question 4 with you. So you both touched on one or two things, but let's give you an opportunity to delve a little bit deeper into some of those by asking this question. And Mr. Pardue, with you first. What are 3 specific things you hope to accomplish if you're elected mayor, and how would you go about accomplishing those things?
I really want to have better communication with our public, whether it be, through a Facebook page or through getting people involved in meetings or whatever it takes really to get more involvement. And I don't have a problem doing a Facebook page. I don't have a problem doing any of that, to help people see more about what they can do for the city and want to do for the city. And I really want to see businesses come here that, such as a hardware store, a restaurant, things that we don't have to drive somewhere else to, go buy a light bulb, or whatever. You can have what you need in place here in Westover to be able to do that. And I like working with people that offer themselves an opportunity to come to Westover. And I guess third, I would really like to see some more affordable housing, some more first-time home buyer affordable housing, because a lot of the big subdivisions and stuff that we have, I don't know what most first-time home buyers would pay right now, but I know that when we were first-time home buyers, we couldn't even think about it. So I would like to see some maybe smaller development that had some smaller homes in it. I would also like to see us being able to work with a local developer, someone that keeps the money in the city, keeps the tax money in the city, and such as that.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, same question to you. What are 3 specific things you hope to accomplish if you're elected mayor, and how would you achieve those 3 things?
One of the things that I would really like to do is to be able to communicate better with the Board of Education than what we're able to do at the moment, by making them know that we're here. They keep talking about the schools being crowded. With just a few more homes, I don't see why that Westover wouldn't qualify for the Board of Education to start putting schools in the city of Westover. We've had several different lands promised to the Board of Education, but with the Board of Education, they just don't see the people here right now to do a school. But within the next few years, I hope that they will see that there is a need for schools here, and us not having to send our children, the students of Westover, to a neighboring city to go to school. Keep them here in Westover. I would also love to see us do something about the mail system that we have in this area. Combining all the zip codes that we have, putting them into one post office, and have Westover as the post office. I know that the present mayor is working on that situation, but I'm going to still keep working on that, because I think that the city needs the identity of a Westover post office and a Westover mailing address, rather than using Sterrett, Harpersville, Wilsonville, or whatever else they're using. And the third I would like to see is businesses in this area, restaurants. We know that it's coming. We don't know when at the moment, but we want the best quality. We don't want the same thing on every corner, so that we have several McDonald's or Jack's or something. Make it where people have a good place to go eat. Although a lot of them have a good place to eat at home, because we have some good cooks. But you would like to get a break from that. So we would like to have you get the break, go out and eat in Westover.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And we'll begin question 5 with you as well. So, if you are elected, please share the specific skills or strengths you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Westover.
For the last almost 25 years, I've worked with the Shelby County Highway Department, and I'm presently working in the office purchasing parts for all of our equipment. So I deal with vendors, I deal with invoices, I deal with budgets, I deal with bids, and all of it is all through state laws. So I know the rules and regulations on the bids and what I can buy and cannot buy. And that way I would take that to the city of what you can and can't buy without doing bids and without publicizing everything that's purchased. I have gotten a lot of discipline from that, and I have spent 24 years going to classes and meeting with people throughout the state. And I've even sat through through meetings from people around the world representing Westover and trading pens with some of the people from other cities and telling them about Westover and about what a good place this is. So I'll present that with my knowledge of the budgeting and business run of the city, plus all the years that I've spent working and guiding the city in what rules that I had. And I hope that that will do what is needed to make this a better place to live.
Thank you. Mr. Pardue, same question to you. If you are elected, please share the specific skills or strengths you possess which you believe will benefit the city of Westover.
I think the skill that I possess that would benefit the city if I'm elected is communication. I feel like I communicate well with people that in a business setting. I don't have a problem at all dealing with contracts, dealing with anything like that. That I think would be my biggest asset, my biggest skill would be to be able to, better communicate what needs to be done as far as taking advantage of, what I'm able to accomplish as mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Pardue, we'll start this next question with you. If elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government and trust of the public?
I started a Facebook page as soon as I decided that I was going to run for mayor, and the very first post I'd done on there was, wanting to share, more about the government so that we can get people in meetings. And, if we don't get people in the meetings, then, transparency is only as good as, is what the city makes it. It's like if we'll communicate, reach out to people, and make sure that, our city is involved, I think we would go a long ways.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, same question to you. If elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government and trust of the public?
I think the public, or these residents of the city, need to know what the city is doing, but we also need input from people as far as what they want. When we have a public meeting and ask for questions and we have 5 people show up, it doesn't really lend the council a good representation of what the people want. We have to go out and ask questions. And then if we decide or make a decision, we're doing it on what we think that the people would want. The city has a good 4 places that has 24-hour access to our public information. We post meetings on those locations, and it has to be within the city limits. So we have places here in the Westover community that are not in the city limits, so therefore we cannot publicize on their property unless they request us to. And plus, we do not have access, if they just should decide to put it inside their business, we don't have access inside that business after office hours. We do have a Facebook page. I will work to make sure that our Facebook page has things published on it more often, and that the people are able to go to this page and find out information. I know in the past we may not have done as much as we should have or could have, but we now have office staff in place that understands these programs and can work these programs. So And I will be depending on them to teach me how to run some of these things so that it won't be just one person that knows how to operate them. We will do what we can to publicize what's out there. We do have access through our city clerk. Should you require something, you would just need to contact the city clerk and she can obtain the information for you. If not, well then we can, as a council, get the information together for you. So we just ask, whenever we have meetings, whenever we have our parade information, if you will come and help us plan the parade, help us plan the event that we have in the spring. It's very saddening when you have 5 people show up for these planning meetings and then someone complains to you about the parade. You just feel disheartened at that. So we would love to have people to show up and help us plan. We would also like another event, but we need people to help.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, and we'll move on to the next question, and we'll begin with you. So, want to read this carefully, and then also just offer it to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be business; could be a personal situation. So, tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity. How did you respond, and what principles guided your actions or decision? And I'm more than happy to read it again if you want me to. Okay.
I guess the thing to do is just say that whenever I got into the city, I had to learn what was needed of the city. I had to ask questions from other city clerks, go to meetings and ask them, how do you start a city? How do you start a town? So I was in the process of buying furniture, buying computer software, learning how to run this. So I always commented to the other clerks, hey, we have a fantastic city. We have a fantastic town. None of my people are in jail. But that's not what you get across the state. You have a lot of them that have problems. I've tried my best to stay out of anything that would cause problems and let the mayor know or the city clerk, hey, we don't do that. So that way, I've really not had any conflict within the city.
So it sounds like whoever is elected, there's a tagline for the city. We don't have anyone in jail. Sorry. Mr. Purdue, same question for you. If you'll share with us, whether it's work-related or personal, tell us about a time when you witnessed or were part of a situation that tested your integrity, and how did you respond, and what principles guided your actions or decision?
I think the thing that comes to mind when you ask me that, it's sort of church-related. We attend Union Community Church, and Union Church, for everybody that knows, has been a Methodist church there since the 1800s. And our church was to the point to where the doors were almost ready to close. We had like 30 people at best. That was a good Sunday. And we had to make some changes, and trying to put all that together with all the different opinions and different directions. We just had to trust God that what direction He was sending us was the correct direction that we needed to go. And we just had to persevere forward, even when we had even some people in our own congregation that were trying to push back and push against it. We had to work our way through that in order to get to where we are today. We had 0 children and like 30 adults. I felt like I was part of the youth group. I was one of the youngest ones there. And with that being said, now we run well over 100 every week and probably got 40 kids, there. So I think pushing through situations like that definitely sharpens your integrity, sharpens your skills, and helps us to move forward in life.
Thank you. And for our next question, again, Mr. Purdue, we'll start with you on this question. Give an example of a time when you had to evaluate competing priorities with limited resources. What factors did you consider, and how did you decide what to fund or support?
Okay, that's an easy one. My wife and I quit our jobs the same week to start our business. We were at the point where we knew that was the direction we needed to go, and it was not an easy task. And I remember one incident, for example, we got to the point where we were basically broke. We were at a point where we didn't have what we needed to continue, for our family to continue to move forward and to buy groceries. And Tracy had been praying, and we got a phone call, and someone wanted a house painted. I went and looked at it, sold the job, we painted the house, and come to find out, they weren't even calling us, they were calling someone else, and they dialed the wrong number. So prayer in that aspect, prayer and your faith going forward really set the tone for that. And that's the thing that stands out to me when I think back on what we came through, and it just again builds character.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, same question to you. Please give an example of a time when you had to evaluate competing priorities with limited resources. What factors did you consider, and how did you decide what to fund or support?
This particular event or situation would not involve the city, but it was a time several years ago when Mount Tabor was needing some repair work done. That building is now the senior center for the city of Westover and the library. We were at a point do we get a new roof to protect the floor, or do we replace the floor in the building? We had a small leak in the roof, and the preacher told us that whenever he had 100 people in attendance, he was going to jump the altar rail. I told him do not do that because he would go through the floor. That was a hard fight because we didn't have money to do both of them. So I think what happened was we decided that to hold up the building, the floor was the first thing to be done. So we gutted the building, went all the way to the ground, put in a new floor, put new furniture in, then put a new roof on it. And since the city has acquired the building, it's gotten another roof on it because the former roof was beginning to leak. It now has a metal roof on it, which looks great. It's times like that you don't know where your money's coming from, but then you just step out and do it, and it works. And a lot of the things with the city that I have seen, we've done the same thing. We knew that we had 2 or 3 projects. We did one, and then all of a sudden, here comes some other.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Next question, and we'll start with you on this one, Mr. Jones. In your opinion, what are Westover's biggest economic strengths and weaknesses? And how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of those strengths and help overcome those weaknesses?
Economic strengths, we just have a good area here. We have a lot of areas where we can build businesses. We have a good highway. with flat land that would require very little construction work as far as getting it ready for place. Economically, it's not a lot of money that's out there, but we have a lot of willpower and a lot of people willing to do things. And when you have two or more people together thinking for the better, something's going to be done good. A problem that I see is as I brought it up earlier, the post office. If you have a street address and you live in the city limits of Westover, you can put Westover on your bill. You can put Westover in your mail. I've yet to miss a bill because I had Westover on my 35147. If you live in Willow Oaks, do the same thing. And I know some of the people, whenever they bought their house or bought what's now their home, they really weren't given truthful information from the realty people. They may have been misled to thinking that they were in Chelsea. So we want to let people know that we are Westover. We're not just a part of another city. And I want to work to push that so that we are the city of Westover.
Thank you. Mr. Pardue, same question for you. In your opinion, what are Westover's biggest economic strengths and weaknesses? And how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of those strengths and help overcome any weaknesses?
I think that our biggest economic strength is, again, our people. I think it's where we stand as a community, and we do collect sales tax from from places that really helps us to move forward and to get things accomplished. And as far as a deficit that we need to overcome, it would be along the same lines as the post office situation, the taking care of having more stuff for our elderly to do that doesn't require a whole lot of effort on their part to get to and from, such as that is things that I'd like to see.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, next question. You're gonna take out your respective crystal balls. You've been elected mayor. Mr. Pardue, we're going to start with you. Where do you see the city of Westover in 4 years?
I would really like to see more business development, more along the Highway 280 corridor. I'd like to see restaurants. I'd like to see any kind of business that's going to serve us well, whether that be restaurants or that be a hardware store or whatever. And I'd really like to see us working toward a town center. I'd like to see us trying to figure out a way to get some kind of town center situated that we would have a place that not to the size of, but I really like riding through Columbiana and going down the streets and seeing the look of it. We went through Asheville the other day, and through the big square there, and that's just, to me, it looks and seems homey, and I would really love to see us headed somewhere in that direction.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones, same question to you. Crystal ball time. You've been elected mayor. Where do you see the city of Westover in 4 years?
I see us actually getting a grocery store here in town or in the city, a place to shop. I see us getting a lot of information that we need, seeing these seniors become better involved in the community than what they are. I see that Pine Mountain begins to grow. We have plans for city center in Pine Mountain that should have been started in 2008, but economic times have not allowed that to happen. We want to see that to begin to mature. At the present time, we're working on a area between the City Hall and then the annex building, which is the old Mount Tabor Church, making that a business type area, even though there are people who live in that area, but making that somewhat of a city area there until we do something else to get an actual block and what's called a town center or city center. We know that it won't be large, but every little thing helps. And we just need the people to help us make that grow and mature.
Thank you. All right, next question, and Mr. Jones, this time we'll start with you. How and when will you be accessible to the public?
This new administration takes office the first Monday in November. That's by state law. So by the middle of December, I will have my 25 years in with the Shelby County Highway Department. I will be eligible to retire from that. I can possibly retire earlier, should need be, and use time that I have available to take me through the magic day. But I will have office hours, so I would not be trying to do two jobs at one time. I would, if elected, I will devote my time to the city so that when I'm in the office, I'm here. And I'm not having to juggle the city and another job, because one of them's going to hurt, and I don't want it to be the city to hurt because I chose to do the wrong thing. So I will be available as a city employee and as your representative for the city to operate the city as it should be.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Pardue, same question to you. How and when will you be accessible to the public?
As I've told y'all a time or two this evening, my wife and I have had a paint business for 25 years, and I'm no stranger to phones ringing at weird times and such as that. I'm in the process of transferring my business over to a friend of mine that's taken over, that has been working for me for a while, and he's just amazing and doing a great job. And at some point, the business will be totally his, and we will have the office hours that we need to be communicated with there. I do want to establish a Facebook way that people can reach out to the city, and I would say that I would be to where if someone called the city office even and oftentimes and left a message, I want to be able to check those messages and get back to them as soon as I can. And I don't want to be a stranger. I don't want to be someone that you don't feel like you can approach.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pardue, next question. Why should the citizens of Westover elect you mayor?
I will be just as honest and transparent with you as I can. I will be as open. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it. If it's I'm not going to go into first day taking up where, Larry's leaving off, because those are big shoes to fill. I'm not going to be able to do that. It's a learning curve for me. But I promise you this, I'll work as hard or harder than anybody, and I'm dedicated to the community, and I want to be a part of your lives as far as taking care of our city.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Jones, same question to you. Why should the citizens of Westover elect you mayor?
I want to believe that the people of Westover think that I've been honest with them whenever they have asked me a question. If it has been discussed in city council, I have always been willing to discuss the information. If it has not been discussed in city council, as you know, as your private business yourself, sometimes you have to wait until you have all the answers before you go out and start discussing it. That way you don't create problems, you solve the problems. I just want you to know that whenever you should come to me and ask me a question, if it doesn't endanger someone, I will do my best to give you the correct answer. If I don't know the answer, I will do my best to find out. That's the way that I've run these things here in the city that I have done. And I just hope that it continues to go that way, and that I'm able to obtain the information that I need to represent the people here and to answer your questions.
Thank you. Well, folks, when we planned this, we had budgeted for a third candidate, and I have exhausted all the additional questions that I had. And these gentlemen should be commended, because I told them I was going to ask them just a couple extra questions, but they've answered far beyond just a couple of extra questions. So, gentlemen, personally, thank you all for hanging in there and answering those. So that does conclude the question and answer portion of tonight's forum, and we'll now move into closing statements, which was determined by a drawing held before they came onto the stage here. And it won't come as a shock, because this has happened everywhere we've gone. We'll continue to go in alphabetical order, although we were trying to avoid that. So, Wayne Jones, if you'll share your closing statement with the folks.
My name is Wayne Jones. I've lived in the city almost all my life. One time I did not live here in Westover was whenever I was in school. So I naturally lived away from here. But whenever I was able, I did come back. And during that time that I was away at school, I was here on the weekends. I was working with the Chelsea Band on the weekends. And so I attended a lot of football games. I do want you to know that I want to be honest with everyone here and say that I enjoy living in Westover. And it's a pleasure to represent you when I go to a meeting that's of people, that's a national meeting or even a worldwide meeting that I've been to. And these are all meetings that I have funded myself to attend these. The city hasn't paid for them. So I'm happy that I was able to do that. And a lot of people know about Westover that aren't from the state of Alabama. And I just hope that we keep up the good work. And I hope that everyone here has enjoyed tonight and learned lots of information. And I would appreciate your vote as mayor to represent you, the city of Westover.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And now we'll have a closing statement from candidate Bobby Pardue. Mr. Pardue?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I know everybody's busy and everybody has things that we need to do and take care of, and you took time to come, and I'd applaud you for that. I really appreciate it. As far as a closing statement, I think that my desire to serve as mayor is very strong. I feel like I want to serve you, and I want to take care of issues that we have and issues as we continue to grow and move forward. I'd really like to be a part of, and Wayne and I have known each other forever. We've known each other since 6th grade. We've been friends forever. We'll be friends when this thing's over. So that's, and I feel like if Wayne wins, I've got his back, and I feel like the same way goes this way, because we both want the best for the city. But I really feel like that with my business experience, I would serve the city well, and I would greatly appreciate your votes. And Wayne and I are friends, but I'm not voting for him.
Gentlemen, thank you again both for joining us tonight. We appreciate you taking time to be here and to share your vision for the city of Westover over the next 4 years. Let's give them one more round of applause. I want to also thank New Life Assembly Church for hosting tonight's forum. Thank you very much for letting us be here. And then also want to recognize and thank our collaborative partner, Shelby County News Media. Alec, thank you for being here tonight as well. And then finally, and most importantly, thanks to each and every one of you for taking time out to be here to listen to the candidates. We hope you did find it informative and a worthwhile use of your time. They say one good thing about any meeting is to adjourn on time. If you look at your watches, y'all are getting a whole hour back. So hopefully you use that wisely. We do encourage you also to go out on Tuesday, August 26th and vote, but just vote once. Don't vote more than once, right? Just once? Don't, oh, okay. We are adjourned. Thank you all for being here.